from the exterior side of this car, looks to be pretty good. Honestly, I'm sure this video, you know, doesn't do it justice as far as what you may think this car is and what it's all about. I guess what I'll do is I'll pop the hood, then I'll lift the car, kind of show you inside and out real fast. First and foremost, not that it really matters, but you know, this is Lexan. This ain't glass. Doesn't have louvers. Basically, you know, stuff like this, I mean, it can all be fixed, but I mean, pretty hokey. Let's see. We'll lift the hood. So what concerns me most about this is you can see this panel has been made here. Just some regular old screws kind of hacked out. That's actually part of the structural part of this car, but this has all been handmade, you know. Even in here, it's all handmade, multiple screws. This is actually just a square piece of bar. It's been welded in. You can see all the Bondo chipping out. This whole thing's been Bondoed. It's actually Bondoed all the way up to the seam of the fender. I want to make this video quick so doesn't take too much time, but you'll see it's all wavy in here. Real bad job. I mean, just bad shape. Firewall's been smoothed. The average eye looks pretty decent up here. Close this. I will make mention, the motor doesn't run worth a darn, although we were supposed to pull this out. Doesn't run real good. It's just in bad shape. I mean, overall, it's just barely enough to make the thing run. Has absolutely no power whatsoever. Okay, so we'll start up here. This is kind of a homemade Mustang 2 front suspension, I suppose. The frame rail, you can tell by how thick that is, how much Bondo is actually in there, covering up all the damage underneath, all the rust and corrosion, just been Bondoed over. You see kind of these welds and all this. This has all just been, you know, fabbed in there. A couple of pieces scabbed in here. And this is for this lower strut rod. I honestly couldn't tell you as of right now what this cross member is out of. It was a Mustang 2 front or what. I have no earthly idea. But it's definitely not what's supposed to be in this car. It's got some kind of handmade engine mounts up there. Let's see. Now you can kind of see it's been welded, and what you're welding to is just rust. You know, most of this here is just in, you know, it looks okay, but that's because it's covered with Bondo. Couldn't begin to tell you really what was going on there. Have no idea. We got kickdown cables that are looser than a goose. Frame rails beat up, rough. Got a tubular, well, not cross member, but frame tie running from the front to the rear. It actually protrudes inside the frame rail. Not a bad way to do it, but I mean, this just shows you how rotten and gone. You can kind of see inside the frame how rusty it is, which isn't uncommon, but just very bad shape. This side's the same way. It's just rotten in all the bad places. The floor pans look good because they are metal, but as you look there, there's been where they've been pieced in. It's been all cut apart. And you can just kind of see how rough that was done. Pretty hacked up in there. Floor pan is just gone. Shifter kind of protruding through wherever they kind of wanted it to land. There's another hole in the back here. Not sure what that's for. They did throw a nice glossy coat of paint on it. Most of this rotted out. Pretty sure you see that hole goes right inside the car. Some sort of rear cross member been fabbed in there as well. You can see where all this stuff's been welded up. This rotten, it's gone. Inner fender, kind of give you an idea of what's been. Lots and lots of Bondo in there. I don't know how they got it kind of molded in there. It looks okay until you start kind of poking and prying. Good amount of Bondo in that quarter panel. Quite a few runs in the paint. Shows you how heavily it was put on. Let's see. There's some more holes popping. This fender well's about the same way. There's already a piece that's fallen off. Okay, so in the rear here we got, you know, it's hacked up for a cage that used to come through, was attached back there, just was painted over. That's fine. But you'll see some of this is seam sealer. All this has been Bondoed. This is all Bondo in here. And that's because there's barely anything left of it. This quarter panel down inside, you can see the Bondo squeezing through. That's pretty normal, not too awful bad. Some screws down there that shouldn't be there. Quite a bit of Bondo. This quarter panel is actually original on the driver's side. Seems like. Doesn't look like it's been replaced. On the other hand, neither has this side. But as we get down in there, it's a whole lot of Bondo. Whole lot. Holes. There's all your work in the inner, because the inner fender's pretty well gone. Inside structure of the car, quite a bit of rust in there. Not too awfully bad. Whole deck lid is rotted all the way across. You got stuff popping through out here. Let's see. Taillight panels were molded in, and that's okay, but you know, I know these guys are going to do paint and body, but I mean, you can see just at the body line here how much this is all Bondo. It's all been recreated. This hasn't been made out of metal. You can see the big old Bondo crack. There's nothing left. I mean, they've basically made quarter panels, and this is, that's all fiberglass resin. That's why it's cracking. So you know that quarter panel's not in good shape. If we come down at a side look, I don't know if you can see how wavy that is. Very, very wavy. That's because there's nothing left of it. The roof's actually in good shape. Interior side, not too awfully bad until we start pulling out cart. Then we start to get into this. Hacked up. Just some of it doesn't even look like they cut it properly. It looks like maybe a torch, some Bondo squeezing through. That's your firewall. That's the structure point of this car is gone. This is the cowl panel. Pretty common to rot out in these cars. Boom. Gone. The whole thing's missing. It's just rotten. See that mesh wire in there? Way up in there. Whole bunch of mesh wiring. That's for the Bondo to hold to. It's real good, high quality stuff. I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just trying to point out. Overall, the dash and gauges look pretty good. Look nice. There's Bondo in the dashboard. You can see how wavy it is. It's been Bondoed all over. You can actually see it starting to crack. You can see those cracks right there. I don't know why people put Bondo in a dashboard, but it happens. So the rear, what we'll do here, we'll fold up the rear seat, and you'll see there's holes to outside. It's not too awfully bad. But if you're going to start with a decent car, you need to start with something better than this. So overall, the interior looks okay. And you got a rat's nest of wiring. This is just going to be, you know, needs to be fully restored. And she's in bad shape.